What's up, everybody? Son of Malbolgia here again. Okay, I promised you guys with the 112 Netflix Punisher figure uh, review slash showcase I did earlier, like a couple hours ago, I think, that I was going to show my version 2.0 of the custom Pattinson Batman. Now, before I get into how I made it, we're just going to get a good look at him. And we're going to compare it to my previous custom because I actually don't have just a regular release McFarlane one on hand currently. I used my last extra on this. Now you see this one's a little darker. I did a silver wash on. This is the one that the video for this guy right here currently has over 12,000 views, as well on its way to 13,000. I thank you guys so much for all the love on that video. I don't even know. I'm speechless. I didn't think anything on my channel would get that many hits. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I didn't think anything I did would get that many hits that quickly. But we're going to go over why I think this version is better than this one. Now, this one has a superior cape, in my opinion, because it's bendy. This is by the DJ guy I told you about in that video. If you're interested in one of these fantastic bendable capes, then you can go to the video all about this guy, the custom Robert Pattinson video I did first, and it'll have a link to the person you can contact for one of these capes. Now, when I watched the movie, I realized I went a little heavy on the silver wash for this. A lot of people seem to like that regardless, but this one I did flat paint on the armor, and as you can see, my main issue was with this one right here was the head on the McFarlane one just seems a little too thin, because if you look at Robert Pattinson's Batman, it has more of like a rounded shape to the cowl. So this one has that rounded shape, and no, it's not, and also it doesn't have the side eyes. It actually has pretty set in realistic looking eyes. I'll explain how I got that later. But if you look at this one, this is just a great look. That's the perfect silhouette of the Robert Pattinson Batman. As you see, it's got a different head, it's got a different belt, and this one actually has the holster right here. Now, you may be surprised to find out that where I got these pieces... Oh, diagram is falling over. Excuse me. You may be surprised to find out that where I got these pieces from is from a very unlikely place. It is from this. This is the Bendy Figs Robert Pattinson 2022 Batman. And if you look at the... I haven't opened this yet, so excuse me. It's not really showing on my camera all that good. But I got two of them because I knew I was going to use the head from one. Now this one, actually I'm going to open. I'll be right back. And we're back. Now as you can see, this isn't a great figure. All right, it's rubber, and I mean, even if you're into bendy figures, it doesn't hold a bend very well. What I noticed though was that it's in scale with the McFarlane one. Okay, but the cape on this thing, it's not bendable, but it is a perfect representation of the cape he wore in the movie. All right, this one has an indentation here, just ignore that. But the way it falls, the way it feels is perfect. This belt is detailed and has all the gadgets from the movie. It has the holster. Now this right here, I've looked and looked, and I don't see the gold around the boots in the pictures, and I don't remember seeing it in the theater. So I'm just ignoring that because I don't think that's accurate. But it could be, and I'm just missing it. But anyway, if you notice, I actually took the cowl, I blacked the eyes out completely, I printed pictures, scaled photographs of Robert Pattinson's eyes to put in there. And as you can see, they're darkened out to make it look realistic. And I think that looks really, really good. I actually printed that as regular printer paper. I scaled it. I cut it out. I glued it. It was aggravating, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I glued it inside those sockets. Now, interestingly enough, I took the bottom half of Pattinson's face from the McFarlane figure and then cut off this bottom half of this because it doesn't look that great. And I replaced the bottom half of this with this and made this perfect cowl. Now, like I said, I'll leave it up to you which one you think is more screen accurate. But I think this one is. And look at the cape. Look how it falls. It's perfect. Because you never see Robert Pattinson's cape just draped over him in the movie. This one right here, I think, is better, like if I'm posing him on the bat cycle or something and want the cape blowing in the wind. This is still a really good figure. I still like it, but I think this one is probably my current favorite. I just keep redoing these customs until I figure out what works best for me. And as you can see, this one I feel like is more screen accurate. It looks more like him. It's got the rounded cowl at the top as opposed to the skinny one right here. And it does have the stitches sculpted in. Looks really good. It was hard to hollow out. Let me see if I can... Okay, it was hard to hollow out and get to fit, but when I finally did, I literally used an X-Acto knife and just went round and round until I got it the way I wanted it. But it stays on. It stays on. It kept the articulation. No putty needed for me anyway. But he had different pieces on the belt from this bendy figure right here. So I used the holster. I used the belt. I used the head, I used the cape. And I feel like this is just I didn't put as much silver. I put a very small bit of silver right here on the chest emblem and around it to make it look kind of old and worn and aged. And I feel like this flat, I hit this with, I think, 3 coats of flat finish, whereas I only hit that one with, I think, 1 or 2. I hit this one with 3, and it really gave that matte finish to it that I really like to see. And I think this is I think this is a better version of Pattinson than this one. And nothing against McFarlane, nothing against you guys. I think this is better. You're totally entitled to your opinion. I can totally see why people would like this better because the silver does brings out more detail. But I think when I look at this, I think it's more screen accurate. That's just my opinion. And that's what I was going for ultimately. This one, I saw reviews of this on Amazon that said this was the most screen accurate one. I'm going to have to disagree with that. I mean, it's the gray is a little too light. The face is actually good, and those eyes actually aren't bad. But when I put it on the McFarlane, it looked a little silly, and the jawline was a little too big, a little too wide. So I said, well, this one is too thin, that one's too wide. So let's take this wide part and keep this more narrow part, and it turned out perfect. It looks so good, and maybe I'm just tooting my own horn here. I think I finally figured out the formula to what would be the best way to get a Pattinson figure right now. And this is definitely hitting it for me. So I'm really pleased with this one. That doesn't mean I'm going to sell this one. Don't get excited. I'm done with commissions. I think I've done like 4 or 5 of them between trades and sales and everything. And I'm not going to be commissioning anymore. I apologize. But I think this one I definitely will not be commissioning. It's going to take having to buy the McFarlane one and track down the bendy figure, which for some reason is not easy to find lately. I don't know why. It's really hard to find a bendy figure that isn't easy to come by, but that one for some reason is not. I guess because the movie's done so well. Speaking of which, the movie was phenomenal. Did any of you guys see it? Because I was blown away. All my life, the 1989 Keaton Batman film by Tim Burton has been my favorite film, but this one has knocked it out of my #1 spot, and I know a lot of people are going to crucify me for that. I'm a diehard Keaton fan, but man, this movie, man, it knocked it out of the park. They murdered that story. Matt Reeves, he understands Batman like no other director ever has. All right, I'm not even going to argue or debate with you. That's my opinion on it. But anyway, what do you guys think? Which one of let's move this piece of crap out of the way. Which one of these two, in your opinion, is the better of my custom Robert Pattinsons? I'm leaning towards this one. I still have a soft spot for this one, not going to lie. I'm leaning towards this one, though. It just looks more, I feel like it looks more screen accurate. But maybe I'm tripping. What do you guys think? Do you like my original? Do you like this one? Version 2.0? Version 1.0? Let me know. Please like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. As always, I will be linking my music page and my Instagram in the description below. Please leave comments. Let's talk toys. Let me know which ones you like better or what you like about each of them individually. And as always, peace out.